We're driving a 2022 Honda Ridgeline. Coming up, we're going to dive into the Ridgeline's many nooks and crannies. But first, information explosion. Let us begin with interior. Hey kiddo, you had a thought about the Honda Ridgeline that you wanted to share. What is it?
No, I can see out really.
Why do you think that is?
The back seat's really high and I'm a very seat.
So those are the two reasons why she can see out really well. You're absolutely right though. You sit at a really good position. The windows are really big too. And one thing we've learned doing these videos is that the better visibility my kiddo has when we're driving, the less likely it is that she's gonna get sick along the way. What about the style of the Ridgeline, sweetie? Do you have any thoughts?
It seems more elegant than I expect from a truck. There's soft materials on the dash.
And I would say that everything that you see is enhanced by the noise. It feels like a more premium vehicle because the cabin is crazy quiet compared to pretty much any other truck I've driven recently.
From a usability standpoint, the first thing that jumped out to me was how many, you described them as nooks and crannies, there are in this vehicle.
The doors, the levels of storage areas, there's so much like divided space over here. It's such a practical door design. You know, my gold standard for center console storage is if you can fit a human head in there, then you know you've really got something, and we can definitely do that there.
So?
Can I fit a head in there?
Yeah.
Let the B-roll show that I am right.
Oh dear.
Do not try to stick your head in there while you're driving.
While I'm driving, I will not, I promise. I'm really impressed too with the under-seat storage space. So one thing you noted in the Maverick was that the under-seat storage space could only be accessed if you removed the car seat over there. It's basically a one-piece seat. This has a divided underfloor storage area. There's a lot of space under there, and it is open to the rest of the floor area, so that gives you some advantages, which is that if you have a large item, it can go under the rear seats and onto the floor area. And if you want, you can flip the seats up and just have a large, almost flat area back there. So if you have like a huge box, you can put that inside the vehicle, and there's plenty of space for it. One element we definitely have to talk about is the bed. It's 5'4" long. Unlike some other mid-size pickup trucks, you have one bed length.
The first thing I noticed is that the tailgate is not damped, which is in great contrast to then you open the underfloor storage compartment and it's on these like pneumatic arms that gracefully lift it up.
It is a fun bit of contrast there. So I believe the reason why the tailgate is not damped is because it has a two-way function, and perhaps there's some sort of engineering limitation for having a bed that both swings out and flips down. Every time I talk about a damped tailgate, people are like, "Ooh, you're not manly enough to lift a tailgate." Yeah, like not everybody is as ripped as I am though. Think about people like, let's say your grandma wants to buy a truck and put that tailgate up. Having a damped tailgate is a helpful trait, but we do not find it here. But that two-action tailgate is pretty neat though. When you rotate it out, you can get really close to the in-bed storage area, or if you want to lift something up, you don't have the tailgate to bed gap to cover. It's just it's a kind of a clever innovation that's a very Honda kind of solution, though you can find a similar tailgate advancements in other places. Ram has something, for example, where it's kind of a split tailgate that flips out and stuff.
Hey, dumb chameleon, in the way on Daddy's face so he can't see where he's going.
Oh no!
And this is what happens when you teach your daughter about editing. Moving on, I will point out that the in-bed storage area, did you see how big that thing is?
It's so huge. It's
Sweetie, please, control yourself.
I could not believe how deep it was. Like I actually started to look at the truck.
Sweetie, the chameleon has places to go. It can't hang out here all day long while you describe the in-bed storage area.
It's ridiculous.
And it has a drain plug at the bottom, so if you want, you can fill it up with ice. A really great storage space. Countering that praise, you've got this flat bed, but I think in order to get that flat surface, the bed height is pretty high, and if you're the kind of person that needs to load a motorcycle, a lower load in height does make it easier if you have a bike going up a narrow ramp. So just something to think about. But I will say that the bed itself is a very functional space.
I noticed it didn't have quite as many bells and whistles as a lot of other utility-based trucks.
Cleats that move around and like that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, you really have to think about how you're going to use your truck and figure out whether or not the bed attached to the vehicle you're interested in will actually do the job. But for us, I think this would be fine.
Totally.
If I had one request for the bed, it would be to incorporate an integrated tonneau cover a la the Hyundai Santa Cruz. I think that would add even more functionality to this. Talking about safety, the Honda Ridgeline scores very well. It's 5 stars across the board with the exception of 4 stars for rollover, but a very safe vehicle. It also includes the standard Honda Sensing suite of active driver assists. So what do we think, family? Is the Honda Ridgeline family friendly?
Family friendly.
Yes, family friendly. Rear window test.
All the way down.
Armrest test. Oh my goodness. So in the standard position here, I can drive at a comfortable 8 and 4, and the armrests are close enough inboard that there's no stretch. My elbows are completely on the perches. The inboard, by the way, you can put it in different positions, so just kind of customize it exactly like you want. Very, very soft, no pressure points, no stitching at contact points. That is full marks on both the inboard and the outboard.
Ooh.
I know.
And I give it full marks because it gets the out of my way.
Yeah, beat it, armrest. I don't need you anymore, boy. Hey, have you subscribed to our channel? If you haven't, please do. At 100,000 subs, we're going to review a windowless white van.
And boy, is that coming up soon.
It sure is. Onward to style. By the way, let me very quickly thank the sponsor for today's video, Flying Eyes Sunglasses.
I'm wearing the ophthalmic line of Flying Eyes frames. They have super thin temples. They are really flexible and durable, and they have these super cool lenses that you can pop on.
They are very lightweight for all-day comfort. Evie wears those no matter what we're doing. If you guys can use aviation-grade sunglasses, whether you're flying or you just appreciate quality eyewear, click the link in the description below. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Does the Honda Ridgeline style work for you?
It's not bad at all. It's just when I was looking at it, I was like, what am I going to comment on? What is jumping out to me? The only thing that really jumps out to me is the twizzly mustache adorning the
kind
grill.
of the black mustache thing. Yeah, it's almost like this is the evil version of the Honda Ridgeline. The Honda Ridgeline style is largely framed by needing to fit in. Rather than taking kind of like a unique stylistic approach, which is what they did with the first generation that did not really connect with consumers, with this generation, they tried to make it look more like a truck. You've got this little cut line between the bed and the cab to make it look more like a normal truck, even though this is a unibody vehicle. They updated styling in 2021 to make it look beefier, so it's a little bit more squared with the front fenders and the hood and the grill and that kind of stuff. It's really trying to convince you that it is a normal truck. It's like a cop trying to convince you it's not a narc. Like, hey everybody, anybody know where the party is? It's not like it's assertively establishing who it is. It's just trying to blend in. Do you like how it's blending in or no? Tell us in the comments. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. I'm this guy, she's that girl. In motion. When I hopped into the Ridgeline the other day, within like the first 10 feet of driving it, I thought, my God, this does not drive like a pickup truck. It is so smooth and quiet, and that smoothness really extends everywhere. Steering inputs are kind of effortless. Ride quality is, I don't know, just this side of floaty, but it's just very, very comfortable. For me, that's a great thing, but I'm not a truck guy. And it's funny because by taking away some of the roughness and gruffness of a pickup truck, it's almost like traditional truck people reject it because it's like, well, that's not a real truck. Even down simple things. The steering wheel does not feel like a big, beefy steering wheel. When I grab the turn signal, I'm like, this feels like an Accord forward turn signal. It's so like dainty and it works just great, but like the normal cues you get that you're driving a truck dynamically just aren't here. If you camouflage the back, you would not know there was a bed attached. As for power, the V6 gives you plenty. I mean, took a little beat to get to the right gear there, but overall generally fine. I should quickly mention IVTM4, which is too many letters to say all-wheel drive, but it is the torque vectoring all-wheel drive system that comes standard on the Ridgeline, and it's pretty cool. You can send up to, the vehicle can send up to 70% of the vehicle's power to the rear differential, and from there, it can decide to send 100% of that power to either the left wheel or the right wheel. Let's say I'm coming up to this left-hand corner here, and maybe it's a little bit dirty. There's a little bit of dirt there. I'm going to floor it coming out of here, and what it's going to do is it's going to send that power to the outside rear wheel on the right side to help turn the vehicle around here, and that comes in handy both on-road, off-road, slippery conditions. It's a really clever system, but man, they have got to trim that name up. Hey look, it's a Ridgeline, the first gen. Hi. All right, let's see what Sweetie thinks. Sweetie's at the wheel. Any first thoughts driving the Ridgeline?
I have to turn this a lot more than the Audi that we just got out of.
It is an unfair comparison, but this is a really normal thing that your baseline is whatever you drove right before the vehicle you're driving now. So by comparison to the Audi, this feels like it has a very slow steering ratio, huh?
It does. It's not difficult to turn, but it feels like I'm having to do a lot of work turning as we go down the road.
Yeah, what I would say is that if you drove some of the other competitive vehicles, that steering ratio would probably not feel quite so slow. What about visibility?
Visibility is great. I feel like I'm set at the perfect angle to see out of this front window. The windows on either side are very large.
Yeah, the pillars are not super huge, especially by comparison to, let's say, the Santa Cruz from Hyundai that we drove recently with its massive yet very stylish C-pillar. In general, do you feel comfortable driving the Ridgeline? Does it feel like a manageable size?
Absolutely, and I keep forgetting that I'm in a truck. It is more of an SUV feel driving it around. It feels very comfortable.
Yeah, you really, I think, nailed the essence of the Ridgeline. And with the essence nailed, I'm back in the driver's seat. Overall, I think the Honda Ridgeline is a great driving vehicle, especially for a pickup truck. Before we move on, let me quickly thank the fine folks who support us over on Patreon. You guys get early access to our videos, and we love interacting with you guys over there. So thank you for your support, Patreon patrons.
You're awesome.
Awesome. Let's move forward to emotion factor. What's the emotion factor here, sweetie? Sorry, lover.
So I feel like it's a utility-based emotion. It's more about the adventures you can go on because it has a truck bed.
And I will add to that, almost like if you have always been in caustic relationships and then you get into a relationship with somebody who's just like normal and calm.
Yeah.
This is kind of like that. There is an emotion factor to, oh, wait, where's the drama? We don't need the drama? It's kind of like that. Like, oh, this is what owning a pickup truck could be like. So I think there is an emotion factor here, but it's not necessarily, to your point, derived by style. If you guys are feeling emotionally drawn to the Honda Ridgeline, check the Kelley Blue Book listing link to find real vehicles in your area in the description below. Remarks! Remark number one, infotainment.
The very first thing I noticed is that the knob is back, and to celebrate it, it's the most adorned bit of hardware in here.
Yeah, it's got that tactile quality. It's almost passive aggressive.
Totally, like you've been asking for a knob. Here you are, Your Majesty.
I mean, if you got all the flack that Honda got for removing the volume knob from their infotainment systems, I would do the exact same thing. Like, hey guys, here it is. You see it? There it is. It's shiny. What about the interface itself?
Is this from a different generation, or is this what all Honda infotainment looks like these days?
It doesn't have a sleek interface, and it is getting on in years a little bit. It's the standard 8-inch screen, but you know, as time marches on, screens get bigger and they get a little bit more vivid and interesting. So I would say it's probably just about due for an update, but in terms of function.
Oh, it functions great.
It functions great. It's a very simple kind of interface. I wish these were like physical buttons over here on the left, but that's a minor gripe. Overall, I think it works fine.
Can we talk about the truck bed audio?
Yes, we can. If you want to be the party, the Honda Ridgeline is there to make that happen. It's got a speaker system kind of embedded into the bed, truly embedded. There are no speakers hidden back there. I think there's an exciter that's vibrating some component in the, I don't know how it works. The bed makes noise.
When you select it, you can either have audio in the bed or in the cab, which I was thankful for because I could totally see me turning on something really inappropriate, forgetting that it was cued to the bed, and then going to pick up our girl at school.
From the window to the walls. Oh, hi, children. Tow max is 5,000 pounds. Both the Chevy Colorado and the Ford Ranger are 7,000 pounds or above, and Frontier is almost 7,000 pounds. So if you have big tow needs, look elsewhere. Oh, and I dug into reliability. So everybody looks at Honda as a very reliable brand. In the Ridgeline's case, in 2019 it had 7 recalls, but it's been really smooth sailing after that. My point being just that every brand has recalls. It's a very common thing, but if you'd like a Ridgeline, they've really got it dialed in now. May I make a trim recommendation?
Always.
I like a cheap vehicle that gets the essential elements that I need, and to me, in the Ridgeline's case, the Sport trim, which is the absolute cheapest trim, totally does the job. You have smart key access, you've got a 7-speaker audio system with a subwoofer, you got 3-zone climate control, you also have a hitch with a 7-pin connector out back there for towing. So yeah, I would just go with like the basic Sport trim. That's totally fine. That said, I might be tempted to go to the level up to go to the RTL trim because it adds a power sliding rear window, heated seats. That's something I've really grown accustomed to. And it also has blind spot warning. But I would say the visibility in the Ridgeline is good enough that that's not a requirement.
My requires the heated seats though.
What? What about competitors? So by size, the Ridgeline really competes against mid-sizers like the Ford Ranger, Nissan Frontier, Chevy Colorado. All of those options are much, much cheaper by base price. Now it gets a little bit more muddy if you make sure that they all have 4-door cabs and are similarly equipped. But all I'm saying is that if you want a mid-size pickup truck, there are cheaper ways to do it, and there are also more capable ways to do it. If you're looking for a cheaper pickup truck alternative, the Ford Maverick, which we drove previously and actually really liked, and also the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which we also liked, are other alternatives, certainly cheaper than the Ridgeline, but also notably smaller. So, I don't know, you've got quite a few choices to choose from. Did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comments section. Synopsis! I was thinking about medicine and that the worse it tastes, the more effective it feels. It's almost like people who buy trucks have that same attitude. Oh, in order for this to be effective, it's got to hurt just a little bit. The Honda Ridgeline makes it not hurt. To me, it's the Flintstones chewable vitamins of the mid-size pickup truck world. Can you think of a better synopsis? If so, tell us in the comments section. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, feel free to hit subscribe. Not only do we do family car reviews, but we also do the occasional helicopter adventure. If you're curious what we're up to between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. Family, I think we did a good job reviewing the Honda Ridgeline. May I have a 5 and a 5 and you? Come get your high five. Ah!